Montreal, the everyday, and the extraordinary. The Elias Makos Show on CJAD 800.
All right, welcome back to the Elias Makos Show. Now, of course, on this program yesterday, we held our election debate, and you got to hear from the two front runners in this mayoral race, Ensemble Montreal's Soraya Martinez-Ferrada and Projet Montreal's Luc Rabouin. As I mentioned yesterday, there are other candidates for mayor, and not all of them made the debate stage. We have invited three other mayoral candidates to join us for one-on-one interviews so that they could also get the opportunity to speak to you and make their case. Of course, just on that decision, we did have a threshold in place to reach 10% in any poll before our debate. Did not happen for the other candidates, so that's why we've extended that invitation and did not extend the debate invitation. With that in mind, let's welcome Craig Sauvé back into our studios. He's the leader of Transition Montréal. Craig, Monsieur, I'll do Monsieur Sauvé because I did the Monsieur.
Elias. We know each other.
You want the Craig?
Yeah,
you get
for
the Craig.
sure.
Craig, thanks for coming in.
So happy to be here.
So, listen, I want to start off with this. You started your own party, but I want to get to if it's fair to say that if you could have gotten back into Projet Montréal, you would have just gone that route.
Not at all. No. First of all, I didn't start Transition Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
It was started by a group of citizens last year.
Mm-hmm.
And their point was that two-party systems are never really good for democracy or for civil debate. And we've seen the polarization at City Hall has been completely unhelpful to Montreal. It's been not good for us in general. So they wanted to start something new. And they approached me in May to be a candidate or to lead the party. And so I engaged in discussions with them. I was in discussions with Projet Montreal. I said it at the very beginning. But I did choose to go with Transition Montreal. There was a point where it was one or the other. And I selected Transition Montreal. And I did because I have so many great friends in Projet Montreal. And I've made friends in Ensemble as well. But comfort is not a good reason to do politics, and friendship is not necessarily the reason either. It's when you have to go with your heart and your values. And the program that I was drawing with the people at Transition Montreal, people around me, it was a lot more mobilizing. It was a lot more, I think, positive for Montreal. It was going to bring new ideas to the fore that weren't going to be represented by either Projet or Ensemble. So, I chose in good conscience to go with this other citizen movement, and we built now a great party.
Do you think Projet Montreal may be regretting not getting you back into the fold? I'm seeing, where votes are being peeled away. There could be a compelling argument made that you are peeling votes from Projet Montreal. You're taking away some of their more progressive voters and bringing them into your camp. How do you see, if we look at the polls, there's a Radio Canada poll out that came out yesterday. You're at 5%. I've seen you poll as high as 8%. Do you think you're taking away from Projet Montreal right now?
First of all, there's no way I'm that low. I think that poll, there's some issues with it. For sure, I'm feeling that I've done many, many campaigns. There's no way we're that low. I think we're above 10 for sure.
Including. Do you think it's the inclusion of the undecideds, and like the undecideds actually disappear into the night? They never show up to vote, so that that in essence that might double your vote if that's the case, right?
That's it. In the Léger polls, if you take out the undecideds, I'm at 13%. Yeah. Right, so that's where that makes more sense, and we're moving. All the polls show us going up, right? So we're feeling momentum. Secondly, in some of the polling data that we have, it shows that the second choice of Transition Montreal voters is almost split between Ensemble Montréal and Projet Montréal. Why? Because people want something new. They're tired of the old traditional parties, and we're offering things that I think are interesting to all Montrealers of all backgrounds. We're offering democratic reform. We're offering, more control of work sites by bringing stuff in-house.
Just on democratic reform, I know you're proposing that.
Yep.
But my understanding is this is the will of the provincial government. If we're going to actually get change on how we vote and number of city councillors and all that kind of stuff, that's got to come from Quebec City. So I don't know if that can be a promise if you're not ultimately the decision maker.
The last time there was democratic reform in Montreal, the two last times, it was because Montreal asked for it. It's not like the provincial government's going to campaign on making Montreal more democratic. They're never going to do it, right? So if we want it, we have to, show our orientation in favor of it. We have to request it. I already tabled a motion for next city council on democratic reform. And what I want is proportional representation in the boroughs. I want more voices in every borough. It doesn't make sense. The one borough has 100% of seats for one party, even though that party only gets 38% of the vote. What about the other 62%? people want to feel that their voice is heard, and I want, preferential ballots for the mayoral posts. That means you can choose your first, your second, your third, and your fourth choice, and that way we get more consensus mayors in Montreal too. So I think that's very valuable, and I think that that's going to fight cynicism in the electorate.
I want to get to some of the issues of this campaign. I want to talk to you about housing. Obviously, it's a big thing. You look at some polling, it says housing, top of mind for pretty much everyone. Now, yesterday, I heard something that I would think would be like music to your ears from one of the candidates. And it was when Luc Laboin started to talk about, we're going to make Montreal into Vienna. For everyone who doesn't know, Vienna, it's like, I think it's 60% of people live in affordable housing. It's a very high number throughout the whole city. They do it. It's not just like one part of town. It's like everywhere, affordable housing. They value that social cohesiveness. So social and affordable housing, very key. I would, it seems like when I've listened to you talk about that, it seems like that might be music to your ears. And that's why I say, I wonder if Projet is reacting to you, in fact.
They are. That's already printed on our flyers. So we've been saying that for weeks now.
Yeah.
We say we want to make Montreal the capital of affordability and housing in North America, and we cite Vienna. So it's already on our flyers. So they're starting to say that now. They're reacting towards us. Transition in Montreal exists because there was a void in municipal politics. And we're filling that void with new ideas, with, I think, inspirational vision. And that's what we need in Montreal. We haven't had vision. The two parties have been throwing mud at each other this entire campaign. It's been boring, and it's been, I think, harmful towards our democratic discourse. So we're providing these visions. We're providing these ideas. And we actually have a robust housing plan on how to get there.
Well, it certainly happened over the last couple of days. So, as I look at it, you've got Ensemble Montréal that is leading in the polls and Projet second. They're throwing out things like we want to make Montreal into Vienna. Certainly seems like they're trying to coalesce a progressive vote. What's your message to Montrealers that they're on the progressive side of things and they say, oh, well, my best chance to continue a progressive vision is to park my vote with Projet, not go with a relatively new party and yourself?
Two-party systems are no good for progressive values. Progressive values need space to breathe. And two-party systems will only drive everyone towards, polarization and against each other. So if you want new ideas, you want new vision, you need new parties. We have great candidates in every single borough in the city, people that are known in their neighborhoods, people that will bring new voices and new ideas and represent their neighborhoods with dignity. And the best way to bring new ideas to the table is new parties. Projet Montréal is losing progressive voters, not because I exist, but because they've already lost them. They've lost them with their poor treatment of the people experiencing homelessness. They've lost them with their inability to take tough stands on issues. Yeah. And so therefore, this is what's happening. There was a void. We're picking up voters that were already not voting for Projet Montréal, and we're picking up voters that are not seeing the inspiration of Ensemble Montréal either.
Here's a question I asked the candidates yesterday, and I'll ask you verbatim the same question. What causes homelessness?
Oh, there's a variety of things that cause homelessness. Every person's story is different, but the housing crisis is a piece. I think there's social determinants that drive homelessness, that drive criminality, that drive all sorts of different things in our society. We have to look at the root causes. So, there's wage inegalities, there's wealth inequalities, there are lack of investment in our education system, our health system, our social safety nets, the housing crisis on top of it, the opioid crisis on top of it. All of these things are causing more people to live in situations of great vulnerability, and they're finding themselves in the street.
One thing that struck me is when I threw that question to the other candidates out here yesterday, right? Soraya Martinez-Ferrada went to the economic aspect. Rents are high, that kind of stuff. And it was actually Luc Laboin who brought up the mental health and drug use side of things. And, from my perspective, if someone were to ask me what causes homelessness in this city, as I see it when I walk in the streets, I'm looking at those two things, meaning drug use and mental health. Now, maybe you're saying, actually, well, there's something else that happens before that they end up with mental health issues or drug issues. But that, to me, seems to be the core of this, of what we're seeing when I get off the highway here, off the Papineau exit, and what I'm seeing now, it's getting worse and worse every day. So on a solution on that front, I don't know if you feel it's just, let's just throw more money at it. Eventually it'll solve itself. What's the solution to the cause of homelessness?
What's the solution of the cause of homelessness? Yeah. Like I said, there's not one solution, right? These things, I'm saying all of the above are the reasons. One piece is we have to develop a robust nonprofit housing system in Montreal and across the province and across the country.
If someone has drug issues, they have mental health issues, give them a modular home. I don't know. I don't think it solves the problem. They still have those issues, right?
It's a piece. Look, if you're housed, you can be better served by social services. And if you're constantly in a state of movement and around the city where you lose contact with the health system and the social system, you're going to have a hard time getting those services. So stability is a piece that allows you to have better access towards all of this and then better resolution after that. So it's a piece. But yeah, we need, health and mental services. We need to fight the opioid crisis. We need to have social and affordable housing for everybody. These are all parts of the issues. And the social safety net. The social safety net is massive. We're losing that. It's crumbling. It's crumbling everywhere. Do you think, like if you are on social assistance right now, you're getting $830 a month. $830. The average 4.5 on the market right now is $1,930 a month. $830. You're not feeding yourself. You're not getting a bus pass. You're not getting anything. So this is the social safety net situation. So all of the above is the problem.
Do you think we need to have more power to force people into treatment for drug use or mental health issues?
The studies show that forcing people into it doesn't work. So I want to talk to the experts, those who are really good at getting people off hard drugs, and say what works best and how can we move towards that. But studies have shown that forced rehabilitation, when they get out, it doesn't necessarily work.
As I mentioned during the debate yesterday, a lot of the candidates had said, we don't want to end up like Vancouver. We don't want to end up like LA. They brought up other cities. Yeah. We don't want to be like them. So where are they doing it right? Like, you're talking about studies show this. I'm not seeing the examples of shining success stories, right? So where are you taking your guidance from? Where are you looking to say, look what they're doing. They're doing it right. I'm going to bring that here.
Finland. Finland is really good. Vienna is really good. There are places where Finland, I think, is the top for fighting homelessness.
What do they do different?
Well, there's all sorts of different things going on, too, in Finland, right? There's different culture. There's different investment in the education system. They house every single person in Finland. There's a zero homelessness policy. It's called Housing First in Canada. We've tried to go towards it, but we've never fully implemented it. When you talk to James Hughes of Old Brewery Mission, he'll talk a lot about this example. He'll also talk about prevention. So their social safety nets are a lot more robust. The care that people can receive is a lot better as well. So that's why I think anybody who works in homelessness is not going to say there's one single issue that's causing it. It's many things, and there's lots of parts of our society that are just sort of falling apart, and we're not taking care of them.
We're going to have more with Craig Sauvé, leader of Transition Montréal. When we return, we'll do traffic, though, right here, right now. Look at traffic brought to you by the Franchise Expo. Own your own business. Attend the Franchise Expo, October 18th and 19th at Palais de Congrès, Quebec's largest event showcasing money-making franchises. Let's head over now to Lauren Glazer.
Elias, for southbound 13, we do have delays between Hickmore and Auto Route 20. Eastbound side of the 20 has volume as well. 32nd back to First Avenue for northbound the Carry. That is pretty slow. Queen Mary up to the top. Delays southbound the Carry from the top to Van Horn. Also slowdowns on the eastbound side of the T-Can. Starting now, Côte-Elias runs out to Stinson on the eastbound side of the Met. Southbound 25, busy bumpy into the tunnel, off and on slowdowns for the westbound side of the Met. Starting now, P9 back to the Carry interchange. 50 or over, talk to your healthcare provider about Prevnar 20, a pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine. Learn more at Prevnar20.ca. Let us know what you see on the roads. Call in your tips to Star 800. Your next report at 10:30.
Already love your Mazda? You'll love your next one even more. With the Mazda Loyalty Program, you and your household members could get up to a 1.5% interest rate reduction on your next vehicle. That could mean 0% purchase financing for up to 36 months on select models. Yes, 0%. Hurry. Now's the time to choose Mazda. Offer ends October 31st. On approved credit, certain conditions apply. Details at your Mazda retailer.
That's annoying.
What?
Your muffler. You don't hear it?
Oh, I don't even notice it. I usually drown it out with the radio. How's this?
Oh, yeah. Way better.
Save on insurance by switching to Bel Air Direct and use the money to fix your car. Bel Air Direct. Insurance simplified. Conditions apply.
The ever-changing, often mystifying world of tech.
Mark Saltzman helps you make sense of it all. What's hot?
What's not? And why? Tech Talk. Saturdays at 2 p.m. on CJAD 800.
Powered by Epson Eco Tank Printers. Epson.ca.
Get ready to host this season. Create the perfect space for entertaining with Mobilia. And right now, they are paying the taxes until October 19th. Shop online anytime at mobilia.ca or visit them at one of their 4 Quebec locations: Saint-Hubert, Laval, Pointe-Claire, or downtown Montreal. Mobilia, proudly Canadian for 60 years. They're paying the taxes, but only until October 19th. See in-store for details.
Welcome to spitting up, to coughing up, and to throwing up, to mysterious rashes and heads that need scratching again, to itchy bums and stuffed up, clogged up noses that run. Welcome to the joys of parenthood. Welcome to Uniprix. Speak to your Uniprix-affiliated family pharmacist for sound advice and prescriptions when needed. Pharmacists are solely responsible for the practice of pharmacy. Certain conditions apply.
Don't miss Samuel Son's biannual factory warehouse sale. From October 22nd to the 26th, get up to 80% off retail prices on men's sports coats, suits, trousers, overcoats, and more. Samuel Son, located on Park and Beaumont. In person only, not available online.
When the time comes to choose a Lexus, never compromise on quality. Lease or buy your new Lexus from Spinelli Lexus.
A legacy that lasts, offers that won't. Experience the 2025 UX 300H all-wheel drive premium package from $488 a month for 28 months at 1.9% with $5,590 down. A refined luxury crossover valued at $48,333.
Spinelli Lexus, the address of choice for all automotive services.
How do we craft tires specifically designed for Canadian weather conditions? We journey alongside them and endure the unexpected challenges the road throws at them. Winter is approaching quickly. Are you prepared? Choose Yokohama, tailored precisely for Canadian weather. Snow, ice, and cold can turn every drive into a challenge. Stay safe with the Yokohama Fall Rebate. Until November 30th, receive up to $100 back when you purchase 4 eligible Yokohama tires. Stay in control and drive with confidence. Choose Yokohama, made precisely for you.
I'm Robin Flynn, and this week on Under One Roof, we're tackling your biggest mortgage questions, from choosing between a fixed or variable rate to understanding the mortgage stress test. Plus, what do strong job numbers mean for your next rate renewal? Under One Roof, Sunday at 12 p.m. on CJAD 800.
Connected to the community.
It was an emotional start to the Habs home opener.
Stay informed.
Doctors are moving out of the hospital to provide injectables and regenerative care.
Watch CTV News Montreal at 5, 6, and 11:30 and visit ctvnews.ca.
Debate, interviews, and breaking news. The Elias Makos Show. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Helping you make up your mind for this November's election. Continuing here on the Elias Makos Show with the leader of Transition Montréal, and that's Craig Sauvé, who's in studio this morning. Craig, thanks for sticking around here. Let's talk about the economy. And I wonder, do you have the economic chops for this job? Do you have an economic strategy? Like maybe that's not even at the heart of your campaign, but what would you say to someone that says, hey, we need someone, a mayor, who's got the economy at the core of their beliefs? What would you say to that?
Well, I've said I've been a city councilor for 12 years. I'm the one that has the most experience in municipal governments out of all the candidates. All right. And I sit on 2 local merchants associations, and I've sat on one for now about 11 years and the other one since its inception about 3 years ago. So I'm in constant contact with merchants, the members, their needs, economic development in the neighborhoods. I know all about it. And I understand the frustrations of, local merchants, small-time merchants. In fact, like what I've said to people is that, yeah, I know I'm a progressive, but I'm not a guy that likes a lot of bureaucracy. I think some bureaucracy is useless and causes basically problems for everybody, including the people who are engaging in the bureaucracy. So one of the things we've proposed at Transition Montreal is a red tape commission. And that's a public commission where every year, once a year, every single borough has to go in public and say how they've made things simpler for small businesses and citizens. What bylaws have they gotten rid of? What processes have they put in to make things simpler? This is a really easy idea. I got it because I've seen the process, and I know this pressure of having a borough to present in public on TV, on YouTube, what their difference is. It's going to make a difference. That kind of pressure I know about. So these are things that I want to do for our communities. And like I said, I've been in the trenches with the merchants now for 12 years. So I do have the chops.
Obviously, for merchants, cutting red tape is like music to every merchant, small business person's ear. Let me ask you about big, bold ideas for the city. I threw it at the two candidates that were here yesterday. And part of me says, well, maybe 2025 Montreal, budget issues we have, homelessness, all that. Maybe 2025 isn't the year for big, bold ideas. But I have to ask you, if you've got one that you are taking to voters, that is just something that just hits you, in the vein of we're going to create a new metro system in the 1960s. Do you have a bold idea that you're proposing to Montrealers that A, will get attention and that you feel strongly about?
Well, there are a few that we are proposing. I'll name one of them right off the bat, Infra Montreal. It's an agency that we're going to create inside Montreal to do public works in-house, right? Most of the public works, you see the orange cones everywhere, it's the private sector. Mm-hmm. And it's often really big construction companies that take 30, 40 contracts every summer, all the way from Boisbriand to Chambly, and they're doing them all at the same time, and they're doing them at their pace. And the city of Montreal is not controlling the pace at which they work. But if we can bring more work in-house, then we can deploy our own blue collars to do paving, to do sidewalks, to do speed bumps, all that stuff.
So are you proposing that we hire a bunch of people, we basically become a construction company at the same time?
We already do it on small scales in the boroughs. And you know what? It's cheaper because, again, the construction companies, their workers are unionized too. It's not a union versus non-union. Both sides are unionized. But when you outsource this, we've seen the prices of engineering firms has gone up twice the rate of inflation since 2012. Things are really expensive on the private side. So we can do parks, we can do paving, we can do it for cheaper, and we can control the construction sites better so there's no phantom, empty ghost construction sites going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. So that's bold, and it's doable, and it will save us money.
That sounds like you need an army. Like you're going to hire a lot of people. Of course, they're going to, you're taking the place of the private sector in many instances.
We are.
What are we talking about here, numbers wise, like bodies?
Well, this is an agency we're going to construct over time. I'm not saying November 3rd I'm elected and all of a sudden everything is in house. It's something we're building. Right now, we are spending billions on the private sector. It's costing us more, and it's all on the credit card of the city. We hear about the debt of the city. That's what it is. And we need to do this work. So the solution is, let's bring it in-house. Those same blue collars we can hire, they can do snow removal in winter. Because you know what we're doing? Half the snow removal in the city, private sector. More expensive. We can do it better in-house. In the Sud-Ouest, half is public, half is private for snow removal. The public side is faster and better quality. And the private side is always problematic. We've had to change companies a few times in the Sud-Ouest.
So let me ask you this, because it's become a point of contention in the campaign, and I just want to get you on the record because I know our listeners care about this. Bike lanes, bike paths. What's your position? Because Projet says full steam ahead. The word they're using at Ensemble is we're going to audit. Mm-hmm. What's your party's position on bike lanes?
All three parties are going to build more bike lanes, and I'm going to tell you why. And so there's positioning that's, maybe pretending on one side they're not going to. I'm going to audit onto, come on, of course they're going to build bike paths. Why? Because the demand is rising everywhere. There's cyclists in Saint Laurent and in Côte des Neiges and in Saint Leonard, and they're cycling more and more and more. We have data to back it. And these people are asking us, saying, hey, I don't feel safe on my street. My kids are taking their bikes to school, and I don't feel safe for them. So we're meeting the demand, really. What the problem is, I think, with Projet is that they've been a little cavalier about it. They haven't consulted. They haven't done the work, the meaningful consultation with the communities. They haven't done that a lot of time, and they're sort of they're ignoring the concerns. So that's what I think where we have to do better. I also think we can do it cheaper. Mm-hmm. Some of the bike paths we have with like granite siding. I mean, do we need granite on the side of a bike path? Can we install things with some, posts or jerseys? There's a way to do it faster and cheaper as well. But there's neighborhoods with zero. So in places where there's zero and the demand is there, we will meet the demand. I think that's just good governance. We've seen like Bixby numbers are out of this world. Bixby numbers are glowing up, and it's all different backgrounds of people using Bixies. And we're seeing seniors on electric assisted bikes more and more and more. So we're meeting demand, and Madame Martinez will do it. Mr. Rabouin will do it. Mr. Sauvé is going to do it.
Craig, I do have to leave it there. I want to thank you so much and giving you this opportunity for our listeners to get to know you a little bit better. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much, Elias. I appreciate it.
Craig Sauvé is the leader of Transition Montreal. He's running to be your mayor. When we return on the Elias Makos Show, we had a guest on this program 6 years ago. She was a tourist to Montreal. She was staying with family in this city, and her car got stolen from her family member's driveway. Well, just in the last week, she decided to come back to Montreal and visit her family. You will not believe what happened to her this week. We'll catch up with Mary Chin.